Good morning, folks. I'm about to head off to get my shielding gas tank refilled with 100% argon so I can start my TIG career. I made an interesting discovery. This is the tank I've been using for my MIG welding. It's meant to be like 75% CO2, 25 argon, whatever it is. It's meant to be a mix, but apparently it's not. Looks like the last time I had this refilled or exchanged, they accidentally gave me 100% argon, which would have been great now, but that kind of explains why my welds recently have been questionable. Because although you can weld MIG with 100% argon, it's not actually as good as the mix. Anyway, let's head off, get a replacement bottle and get my new TIG welder all set up. Quite excited. So I'm down at TSC Brantford, which is where I've got my welding bottle contract with. It's a kind of, you buy the bottle but you have to keep exchanging it with them. Anyway, TSC is now PV. At least I hope it's just changed its name, otherwise I'm going to have to get a whole new contract. Let's find out. Okay, it was just a name change, so I've got my full bottle of argon, again. Right now I need to go and get some tungsten tips and some MIG, TIG steel welding rods. Princess Auto. Apparently it's closed for Remembrance Day. That's very nice of them. Not so good for me. Let's try Home Depot. You know what? Lowe's is right next door. I wonder if they've got any welding equipment. I only need some tungsten stuff and some mild steel roddy stuff. Come on, guys. Give me a break. Nope, another fail. Next try Canadian Tire. This is ridiculous. There's no one TIG weld. Let me think, where else can I go? Well, that was yesterday. Total bust. Even tried Home Depot, but you can only get the stuff from Home Depot if you order it first and they deliver it to the store. It's just nonsense. So I quit in a fit of rage, went home and just ordered everything off of Amazon. Now, the tungsten electrodes should be here today. The mild steel welding rods will not be here till Saturday. So what I can do, see that workbench in the corner? That's my metal workbench. I need to clear that, get it out here, clean off all the paint, because I'm going to use that as a kind of grounding base. So there's no point having paint on the top. So get that out, clean it up, and I can at least set up my TIG with the tungsten electrodes and actually practice practice everything really without the filler rod. That's probably a good idea so I don't waste filler rod on my very first attempt. So let me tidy up, I'll see you in a minute. My table is now clear, so let's unbox this welder, see what we've got, make sure everything's there. So this is the YESWELDER TIG 205DS, which was very kindly sent to me by a very valued subscriber by the name of William Mueller. William is working on his RAM 2500, and he also has a YouTube channel, and I would appreciate if you click up there or in the description, have a look at his videos, give him a like. I would appreciate that very much, because I appreciate this very much. Right, I added this to my Amazon wish list kind of as a joke. I didn't really expect anyone to get it for me, but William did. Now, it's a budget TIG welder, a kind of beginner's TIG welder if you like, but I did some research and looked up some reviews and some YouTube videos on it, and apparently it's way better than a budget TIG welder. It's supposedly extremely capable. It's extremely light. The only downside is after I got it, I realised that it is only an AC welder. It's not a DC, so I'm not going to be able to weld aluminum. I don't know yet why, but that's as far as I know. But that's okay. I will be predominantly welding steel and maybe some stainless steel. So I'm not going to give you a whole tutorial on how to set this up and use it, because I don't even know myself. As far as I can see, all the parts are here. So the only thing left for me to do, other than waiting for the tungsten electrodes, is to have a look at the instructions. I'll do it. So while I'm waiting for the Amazon delivery guy, I've gone ahead and set this little guy up. Now, what I didn't mention before is this is a 110-220 system, which means theoretically you can just plug it into your house. It also comes with an adapter to plug it into your 240, 220, whatever it's called, big plug here, which will go in there where my car charger normally goes. And I'm going to start with this because I don't want to trip any switches, any fuses in the basement with running the 110. Just better safe than sorry. So what else we got? Again, I'm not going to tell you which wire goes where, because it might be different in whatever system you get. But I do have one wire going to the ground, or the work as it seems to be referred to, rather than the ground, because in this particular instance this actually goes into the positive, which is kind of weird, but apparently that's how it works for this particular setup. This will be the gun with the gas in it. At the moment I've got that hooked up with a clamp here. It's not tight on the clamp. This is just so that it doesn't swing about and trip me up, and I've got it just the right length, I think, for working with it. What else can we talk about? Oh yeah, the on-off switch. There's a choice on this system. You've got the on-off switch here, which apparently isn't that common, but you would probably use that for awkward areas to activate it when you can't get your foot on a pedal, you know, if you're lying under a car or whatever. And this is the foot pedal. Now, again, from some research, foot pedals are generally to control the flow of the gas and the... I'm not sure if they control the flow of the gas, but they're supposed to control the amount of amperage that's going through the system. From what I've seen, this is purely an on-off switch. It's basically on or off. That's what I've seen so far. So I think what we'll do is plug it in, see what happens when I twiddle with that knob. So there's a big red on-off switch at the back, so stick that on, that should light up. Indeed it does. It's a nice little protective cover there to stop any dirt and dust getting in that section. You get a switch here between TIG and arc, so we'll leave that in TIG, and presumably this will be the amperage, which you can set to whatever you want. Well, you can't set it any lower than 20 apparently, and it goes all the way up to 199, 200. I need to do a little bit of research to see where I start with this, but I'm guessing if you set it up to 200 amps on a 110 outlet, it would just trip the switch. So I'll probably start just with 100, but as I say, I'm going to look that up, see what's a good starting point just to practice on. Oh, it's a bit pernickety, finicky. Okay, right, let me have a look at the gun thing. I can't remember what it's called. Leave a comment. I'll probably find out by the end of the day. I'll switch it off. I'll show you the gun, whatever it is. So as I said before, this comes with a little on-off switch, so presumably you could work like that. But I noticed when you press that, it's moving the whole gun nozzle. What's it called? Anyway, every time you press that, it's going to push it forward, which isn't ideal. You'll probably have to hold it like that to get a better accuracy going. This is the way I've seen that you normally hold it, because it's supposed to be quite relaxed when you do this. But yeah, that's definitely going to change things. If I have to press that, it moves it forward. Okay, on to the other bits and bobs. So, this part here screws in there, and that will hold your copper nozzle guide thing, which I have 3 of in this pack. I've ordered 1/16 tungsten, and this says 1/16 on it, so that will go in the back like that. This bit will go on there. I've got 3 different sizes of cups. I know what they're called, and I'm going to go. I've got a 4 and a 5 and a 6, so I'm going to go with a 5, just middle of the road. That gets screwed in there. Seals against this plastic, whatever that is, just to seal the gas, because obviously the gas is coming up here and out there. And then the tungsten will get through there, and then you tighten it with this. So, now we wait. Oh, I'll tell you what we can do before the tungsten electrode arrives. We can find some steel to practice on. So I have my scrap steel. I've got some quite thin body thickness metal. I have, not quite sure what thickness that is, but it doesn't bend. It's possibly not thick enough to make brackets, but it's a nice bit of scrap to practice with. I've got this really thick stuff, which I think is 1/4 inch, and I've got another big section of frame type steel, which again I think is 1/4 inch, maybe 3/16, not absolutely sure. Now I was going to grind down my bench top and use that as my earth, but I think what I'll do instead is get a dedicated chunk of steel with holes in it to help with cooling, and whenever I want to weld I can just clap that onto the bench and use that as my ground. I've got my welding helmet ready, I've got my big clamp ready to attach all my work to the table, got my gloves ready, just waiting on the tungsten. Hurry up. Hurry up. Let's do this. Wow, they're smaller than I expected. So I got the variety fun pack with lots of different colours. Oh. I'm going to start with the yellow or gold ones, because that's what was recommended for this whole setup. So let me insert that. I've already set my gas at 10 psi or whatever it is. Apparently you're supposed to kind of, whatever cup size you're using, double that. So this is a cup size number 5, so I'm going to set it at 10. I got that information from the fabrication series. I'll put a link to his channel there. Really, really good information. So I'll give that a shot. Right, let me show you how I'm going to insert this. It's fairly straightforward. So, as I say, gold. Oh, here's what you have to do first. You have to grind a point on these things first. And apparently 30 degrees is the desired angle. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. Normally you would use your bench grinder to do this, but as you can see I've got a wire wheel in one and I've got a belt sander in the other. So I have set up just an angle grinder, and this is going to be a dedicated grinding disc just for the tungsten. Apparently you shouldn't be contaminating your tungsten with other grinding discs, so I can just whip that out every time I want to sharpen these. And I'm going to sharpen two, because guaranteed I'm going to mess the first one up and probably the second, but at least I'll have a spare without having to regrind straight away. Let me do that. That should do it, I think. I don't know if that's 30 degrees or not, but it's a tip and it's a point, so we'll give it a shot. Easy enough to change that if it's not right. Put the other side on the back. And we're looking for this to stick out about 1/4 inch, apparently. Let's go that far. I think we're ready to actually start now. So, without any more further ado-ness, let's give it a go. So, since I'm just practicing, I'm going to be doing a number of things. I'm going to be making sure that I'm getting the distance from the tip to the metal precise. As long as I don't touch the metal and then I have to regrind the rod, apparently you can ball it up. So I want to get used to how far away I need to be, or how close. I want to be able to see the puddle that I'm creating and gauge how long I hold it in the same position for. And also I want to make sure that my welding helmet is adjusted correctly so I can see what I'm doing. So there's a few things I need to do, which is why I'm just starting with spots. I'm just going to fill this, I'll show you in a second, but I'm going to fill this little square with spots and just get used to it, and I'll show you the results once we're done. Okay. Here we go then. Using my foot pedal activation, what happens when I press a button. So I can hear it. I can hear it running the gas. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Neighbours are so noisy. So apparently the gas starts before it sparks up, and then when you take your foot off the trigger, the gas keeps running to help cool it down. Right, enough beating about the bush, let's do this. Okay, straight away my helmet is set too dark, so I need to adjust that. Let's try again. Ah, right, see what I forgot to do there? I forgot to hold the cup over the weld, and that's why I think that's why it's got holes in it. Either that or I've been holding it too long. Let's try another line. I'm going to put this glove back on so I don't get sunburn on my hand. Not absolutely sure why I've got holes in the top. What I'll do is I'll try a couple of spots without holding it for nearly as long as that, see what happens. Still getting a little hole in the top. Let me check the gas. Gas pressure is still set to 10, so that's not a problem. What I'll try in the next one actually is just move it along a little bit and see if that stops the hole appearing. It doesn't always initialize like it should. I've heard of something called scratch start, but might need to try that. Okay, I'll give you a close-up of this and we'll try and figure out what's happening. So here's what we've got so far. This was my very first spot, and every single one after that has got a little hole at the top. I think it's possible that because I didn't keep the cooling gas over it and it immediately moved to the next spot. This is weird, this is magnetized. Or maybe it's a magnetized screwdriver. Anyway, I diversify. I think I've just not let it cool enough, and it's air, oxygen is getting into the pool and bubbling up. And the reason that it didn't happen there, or not quite so much, is because I was moving along and the gas was cooling it as it was leaving the area. So I'll try another set of spots along here before I try another line, because I really want to be able to do a spot without a hole. Let's continue. Now I know everyone's probably screaming at the screen going, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Well, you know what, it's all about practice, right? And that's what we're doing today. Best way to learn how to do something is to learn how not to do it, or something like that. Let's continue. Okay, I think I've just ruined that. I think I've just ruined that rod. Let's continue and see what happens with a ruined tip. That's weird what's going on there. Still getting little mountains. Right, let me change the rod, the tungsten. Okay, I've got a new electrode in. You know what, I'm going to turn the gas up a little bit. Better too much gas for now than not enough. I can always dial the gas back. The only harm you have if there's too much gas going through is you're just wasting gas apparently. But as I say, for now, I want more than not enough. Okay, I've turned the gas up to about 13. And we're still at 100 amps. If it still does this, I'll try turning the ampage down. I think that's better. Still getting little mountains with holes, little mini volcanoes. I'm going to turn the ampage down, see what happens. Right, we're down at 60 now. I can see it's taking a lot longer to puddle up. Still getting volcanoes. I really would like to know what's going on with the volcanoes. Maybe that's just because I've not got any filler going in. I'll keep trying. It's all about practice. Just don't think there's enough ampage for this thickness of steel. I'm going to turn it up a bit. You know what? Since I've already started with 100 and gone down, I'm going to go up to 120, see what happens. 120 amps. I need to get used to this scratch start thing, because sometimes it starts, sometimes it doesn't. Still getting volcanoes. I'm going to try another line. Okay, I think I'm just overthinking this, because that line turned out without any little volcanoes with holes in the tops. I'll give you a closer look. So that's the last set of spots that I did. Absolutely horrible. Huge volcanoes. And then this one down here is the line that I just did. It's obviously not exactly straight. And I think that section there, I was maybe a bit too high with the electrode. But you can see that at either side is where the heat's gone out, so it should be getting good penetration. It's just not very pretty at the moment, but that's okay. It's all about practice. Right folks, before I waste all my argon, I'm going to look up and just see what the problem is with the little volcanoes, because I watched a video before and the guy didn't have any volcanoes and he did hundreds of little spots. So I'll find out what I'm doing wrong there. It's maybe too much amperage, maybe the height's too high, maybe I'm holding it too long, who knows, I'll find out. But you know what? I'm actually happy with the setup. Everything seems to work as it's supposed to work, I think. So it's really just a bit of practice, but as I say, I'm not going any further until I know I'm not doing something fundamentally wrong. So I'll get on with that, I'll do some more practicing, and I'll see you tomorrow when my filler rods arrive, and we will try welding 2 bits of metal together. How exciting. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.